Hey guys, this is Dr. Callahan for week 10 Friday, right before spring break. Happy Friday. Go ahead and pause the video and answer the following 3 questions for your warm-up log. I hope you guys have a great spring break. Take time to relax and catch up on your sleep. Give your family members a hug and kiss and show some affection and how you appreciate them. Catch up academically. The 2 weeks that you guys have off is a great time for you guys kind of look at what you're missing. And then for this class, you guys have your YouTube channel. I don't know about your other classes, but this one you can definitely raise your grade. It's always a possibility. All of your Math Excel is open. It's due June, but of course there's like a 10 to 40% penalty. So the sooner you turn it in, the better. And I really do mean that. Like if you turn it in like 2 weeks late, it's only a 10% deduction. If you turn it in 4 weeks late, I'm going to go up to 20%. So it's better if you turn it in earlier, the better. Be grateful and then just smile. All right, now let's go ahead and take a look what we did last class. So for your last class, we had this worksheet right here that I had you guys work on. Does anybody need a copy of this? Anyone need a copy at all? If you do need one, I have it right over here. I will have you guys turn this in today. So if you do need a copy, make sure you have that. For those of you guys who are just simply sitting here and you don't have anything else on your desk, make sure you take your worksheet out because I will be having you guys turning that in. And if you have your cell phone out, please put your cell phone away. Marley, can I have you move your leg off my desk? Thank you. That will be appreciated. Marley, can you get your leg off? You're like, we can see it right there. I'm like, thank you. All right, so we went over questions 1 to 14 yesterday, and we've gone over these ones. Remember, the summary of this is that you do not want to have a square root in the denominator of this. And then we did the exponent rule digital escape room. Marley, do you need a copy of this as well? Do you have it? If you can take that out, that would be great. And so we went ahead and inserted the letters, and you should have submitted this. So if you do submit it, I will give you guys a check plus for it. So make sure you guys have that completed. Week 10, you have your practice problem on Math Excel, and then also the 5 questions for your assessment. So make sure you guys have that. And then of course your Math Excel is due on Sunday by 11 p.m. and I'll be updating your grade on that Wednesday when you guys return. Okay, so let's go and take a look at your YouTube channel. For your YouTube channel, this is what you guys should have. 46 videos and everything from yesterday, which is week 10, Thursday is already updated on there. So everything that we've gone over is there and you have that as a reference to go ahead and do that. All right, so today we're going to go ahead and finish this up. It is Friday, so we're going to talk about properties of exponents and radical functions, and then I will have you guys turn in that worksheet. And so for those of you guys who don't have it, you might want to take that out and follow along. And like I said, you don't have to be good at math to pass this class, but you have to put in the effort. Now, I appreciate seeing you guys here, but if you're just simply sitting there and not doing anything, your grade will be impacted by that. So let's move on. So you guys have your guided notes and we'll just go ahead and get started from there. Okay, so let's jump over to number 15 and number 16 for this. So you can only add and subtract radical if the square root numbers are the same. Okay, so the numbers inside the square root, they need to be exactly the same. If they're not the same, then you need to use magic to make it so that they are the same. And again, those of you guys with your cell phones, please put them away. You know who you are. Let's take a look at number 15. You have a square root of 3 and a square root of 3. Are these exactly the same? Yes, they are. So then what you can do and just go 2 minus 6, which is a -4, square root 3. And that is your answer. That one's not too bad. However, number 16 is a little bit more difficult, obviously, because you have 20 and 45. They're not the same. So you got to ask yourself, okay, what times what is going to give me a 20, but then I want them to be a perfect square, and perfect square are like 4, 9, 16, 36, 49, 64, 81, 100, 121, 144. I just list them just so I know visually what I want to rewrite my number as. I could say 4 and 5 because 4 times 5 is 20. 4 is a perfect square, so then that's going to give me a 2 square root 5. On the right side, I have a 45. So I ask myself, what times what gives me a 45? Well, one of them needs to be a perfect square. I can say 9 and 5. And I know 9 is a perfect square. So that's going to give me a 3 square root 5. And then if I look at this, do I have the same numbers inside the square root? I do. So then I can just do 2 plus 3, which is 5 square root 5. And that's my answer. All right, let's take a look at number 17, 18, and 19. All right, so for number 17, what you're going to do is you have parentheses. So I'm just going to go ahead and notate that right there. And what I'm going to do with this is I'm going to take the numbers in the front of it, and I'm going to distribute it inside the parentheses for that one, okay? Once I go ahead and distribute that, I'm going to have 2 square root 3 and 7. They don't match, but we're not adding, so it doesn't matter if they don't match. 3 times 7 is a 21. Okay, so you're multiplying, you're not adding. Minus 2 times 4 is an 8, and you just put a 3 right there. And if you look at this, you're like, okay, is there anything that I can do with a 21 to break it apart? Well, I could do a 3 and a 7. But then unfortunately, like there's nothing that I can do that will help me in this situation. You know, there's no perfect square. So my answer is just going to stay as is like that. Okay, let's take a look at number 18. Okay, for number 18, you got to rewrite it first. I know a lot of people are like, oh, you just take that 2 and do it that. No, that's a big no-no. You got to rewrite it. So 2 plus square root of 3 times 2 plus square root of 3. And I know what you're thinking. You're probably like, do we have to do FOIL for this? And the answer is yes, yes, you have to do FOIL for that. All right, so let's set this up, you guys. So FOIL. So F stands for first, and you're like, which numbers are first? The numbers that are first are these 2 numbers that are obviously first in the parenthesis. So that's 2 times 2, which is 4. Next, what you do is O. O stands for outer. So what 2 numbers are on the outside? That will be a 2 and a square root of 3. So that's just 2 square root 3. And you're multiplying them. Okay, then I stands for inside. So what two numbers on the inside? I'm gonna go under. So I have a square root of 3 times 2. So that's just 2 square root of 3. And then L stands for last. And so we're just gonna take this, multiply together. So square root of 3 times square root of 3. If they're exactly the same number on the inside, it's just gonna give you a 3. Okay, and that's it. Okay, so the very last thing we're gonna do is we're gonna highlight this. So I can combine the 4 and the 3 together. Those two I can combine. I can also combine the 2 square root 3 together because they have both square root 3's. So my finalized answer is 7 plus 4 square root 3. And that's it. All right, let's take a look at number 19, you guys. We're gonna do exactly the same thing over here. It's just FOIL. F stands for first. So I'm gonna do square root of 5 times square root of 5. They're both the same, so it's just gonna be 5. O is the outside. So these two numbers on the outside, -5 times square root of 3. So that's gonna be a negative square root of 15. Okay, L stands for, I stands for inner, sorry about that. Inside is just gonna be square root of 3 times square root of 5, which is just square root of 15. And then of course, L stands for last, as you guys know. And so that's just gonna be square root of 3 times negative square root of 3, which is a negative 3. Okay, so at this point, let's go ahead and highlight the ones we're gonna go ahead and add together. So the first and the last will go together, and then the outer and inner will go together. And then do you guys see how 5 minus 3 is gonna give you a 2? Negative square root of 15 and positive square root of 15 just cancel, so it's gone. So your answer is just 2. All right, you guys, and that is basically it. So you should have this done. I'm gonna have you guys turn this in before you guys leave today. So we're gonna move on to the next part of what we're gonna be doing, and you're gonna flip your paper over to the back of this, please. All right, so with your cell phones or with your QR codes, grab your cell phone, grab your iPad, go to the QR code right here. Give you guys a second to get there. All right, so once you get to that part, you should see it's a brochure, and basically what it's going to do is it's basically like a college prep checklist, and it's going to talk to you guys about the things that you should be doing starting in 9th grade, 10th grade, 11th grade, and then 12th grade. So just on your paper, just write 9, 10, 11, and 12 on the back of your paper. And as you guys navigate through this document, I want you guys to jot down some of the things that you have not completed for 9th grade. I know you guys are juniors, some of you guys are sophomores, but if there's something that you have not done, make sure you jot it down, because most of you guys are right now in 11th grade. And so things that you should have done in 9th and 10th grade should have been already completed. But if you didn't, jot those things down. And then luckily you're not any of my seniors, so you still have things you need to do for 11th grade and then also 12th grade. And then lastly, it also talks about what can your parents do, or guardians or family members like your grandparents can do to assist you with the process. Give me 2 things, and you just jot it down on your paper. And then what do you still need to do as an adult student? Because I go over the same thing with my students, regardless whether they're young or old. I have some students that are like 19, and obviously, you know, they're no longer like young kids. But I want you guys to read that document, list a few things that you still need to do, and the list basically is like the path of what you need to do if you are to go to college. So take about 10 minutes there, and then we'll reconvene. We'll move on to the next half.